And here is Arik. Hey, Victor.
Hello, hello.
How's it going?
Good.
Do you remember when we spoke when I was in Portugal?
Yes, was it at the gathering?
So yeah, I came up to you in the gathering in the end, and I was really excited.
Yeah, I remember we talked. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
and then we did a follow-up conversation when I was staying at the Essencia in Algarve. Yeah, we did a follow-up, and I think we left it at the place where I said, well, I need to find someone in Israel that is capable of moving and shaking things, and I think I found him. His name is Arik. Yeah.
Amazing.
Hello, Victor.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for
Good to meet you.
thank you for having us here with you.
No, thank you
Uh,
for taking the time to meet.
yes, yes. Yeah, we just had almost an hour meeting with Sam before coming to you to just sharpen and prepare our needs and our concept, which is forming. And yeah, we definitely need some direction, or a little bit shaping. So I would definitely present you our current situation, and we can move forward. So I can start now if you guys let me.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Go
Perfect.
for it.
Maybe I can start with a little bit introduction about myself, just to get the context. So I try to do it really sharp and to the point. So basically, in the last 2 years,
I mean, I am good on time, so and it's the first
okay,
time we meet, so I'm happy
yes,
to get the long version. At least for me, I
first,
don't know how Sarah is.
okay. So maybe you can
Okay.
watch a YouTube because he knows it. He's heard many times.
Mhm.
Okay, so
I'm
okay,
listening. I'm just gonna get water.
yes, good. I'm also gonna get it in a minute.
Okay, I'm gonna get something too then.
Good, I'm back, guys. All right.
All right.
Sorry. Also needed a second. Okay, so my name is Arik. I'm 29, and I was born and raised in Jerusalem. Um, in 2023, so 2 years ago, I went, instead of going to university to do my bachelor. I decided to go and travel the United States. So I hiked from Mexico to Canada on a trail. It's called the PCT, and I went there to.
You hiked. You did the Pacific Crest Trail.
I did that, yeah,
Oh my
2023.
God, you're already my hero. It's been my life's dream, but I'm 52 now. My one knee is not great, and I'm going like, maybe I will not make it this lifetime. Fuck, I'm so
I
envious.
see.
I want to just spend hours sitting and listening to your PCT stories.
Man, can do another whole session about it. I have so much footage, and if you, yeah, it's,
Amazing.
definitely a big gift that I was gifted. But the biggest, maybe one of the most meaningful things there was me asking the God or the nature, whatever, like give me a sense of like purpose of life, and then the answer somehow came with time, was to live in eco village, to create a tribe and live in a tribal way where we're autonomous and we're independent as a group of people, basically to live in a tribe. That was the feeling that I got, and then without knowing the word eco village, I didn't know this term exists. I started to search, And I ended up after the trail in end of 2023. I decided to go to Hawaii to start putting my boots on the ground to learn what is an eco village, to live in an eco village. And I didn't even have a clue that Hawaii is apparently a big hub for eco villages or little communities, apparently, which I was not aware of. So I ended up in I flew to Maui to an eco village on the more it's more like a rural place. It's really out there. I lived there off grid, no cell phones. It was very like they were very like humble. They didn't want technology, no radiation. We ate only from the land, like ate very reliable on the land. That was my first like real like active eco village life, and then it led to a sequence of them. I started to get really into it, so I moved from there to another place in Big Island, and I realized that Big Island is very big in eco villages. It's a huge. There is more than, I would say, more than 30 eco communities in different sizes. Yeah, it's amazing. It's like a huge hippie land in the south of Big Island, and I was in one of them, and I realized they gather all together. They know each other. They go to dance. They do workshops. They go every Sunday. There are 300 people dancing in ecstatic dance. About 300 people. It's massive. It's amazing. So and in the place in Big Island, they told me about Tamera. I watched a movie there, The Village of Lovers, and I flew to Tamera a year ago, and I spent there a month. And there I was exposed to Jen. I haven't heard about Jen before, so I heard about Jen, and then I heard about the EDE. Some people don't know if you heard the EDE course. So and things started to start.
I took the EDE like 7 years ago. No, 10 years ago. It's
Where?
Siebenlinden in Germany.
Okay, cool. And I did the last one in Switzerland in Schloss Greifswald. Have you heard about the? You know, her name is Sonia Vera. She's quite a known character in Gen. Yeah.
Maybe I didn't get deeply involved with Jen, but I mean I know it well enough.
Yeah. So I'm trying to like just curb the story a little bit. So basically, I started to go between eco villages, and then Tamera was like the one that I stayed, and then I went in same summer. I went to Gen gathering in Ansbach, and I met Saar. We actually met because I tried to make a delegation. So find people in Israel that would love to go together to Jen, and only one guy came with me. We didn't remain friends, but Saar and another guy became good friends of mine, and we're talking until this day and trying to form our thoughts. So I did the Jen thing last year, and I really wanted to do the EDE course in Switzerland, and I prayed to God, and it happened. So I went to EDE on January, and I was 5 weeks, and from there I started to roll a little bit in Europe, and I went through Damanhur, I went through Schwalbenalp, I went through Hidraya Yoga, which is a nice retreat center, and I did 1 month in TDF. So this is like a really back from the bird eye about my little bit journey in eco villages, and you know, as feeling like this is something that fills me with purpose and meaning, and like how do I want to live, what do I want to fulfill in my life, how do I want to raise my kids, what food I want to eat, which people I want to hang out with, how do I bring spirituality, how do I bring love, how do I bring integrity, and all those aspects of life. How do you live in a feeling that this is a life you want to live in, you want to create, you're nourishing it. So I guess we're all speaking the same language, but I think we're all kind of on the same concept. And then what basically happened was that me and Saar and basically this other guy Ziv, which is a third friend of us, we're all trying to see what our common ground, and what can we do here, or what our capabilities and possibilities. And living in Israel is quite an, you know, you probably heard many things about this, especially from Europe, but just for us, knowing the circumstances and knowing
I have, by the way, I don't know if I don't want to interrupt your flow too much, but also I have a friend called Dror Zohar. He's based in Israel. I have to connect you with him. He's got like his Israeli village builders group. He's got tens of thousands of people. though he's actually, so I know very well from him, and I talk to him sometimes, and the missiles are flying overhead. And he's actually about to work on building a village in Costa Rica. So from him, I get a regular, and he actually runs a reconciliation group with Palestinians and Israelis where they do like week-long retreats once every few months. So yeah, I understand.
Look, if you look in the reality, as from what I know, um, every single Israeli that is not religious and want to live in a community would pack his stuff and leave Israel. This is the reality. If you're Israeli who wants to live in eco village, you realize that it's so challenging. It's almost impossible to do it in Israel, and there's so many reasons. Maybe I wouldn't even go into why, but there's so many ways. There's so many whys that people are packing their stuff and going to Portugal because they gave us passports, or they have any European passport and they just buy land in Greece, in Italy, in Portugal, and they're forming eco villages. There's abundance of Israelis that does it. So so this is what I hear from people that I talk to about things like that in Israel. They tell me, well, I'm probably gonna leave, or you have to leave. Yes, I will maybe add a little thing that I spoke to a woman in Israel that she used to have an eco village near Gaza Street, and the government destroyed it. Like they had to demolish the place because it was illegal. Like many stuff were illegal.
My friend's place is also fighting bulldozers.
Adama, right? That's probably Adama.
That's the one, yeah, Adama.
Yeah.
It's like somewhere close towards the border.
Yes, yeah, and she told me, this woman, that her place got destroyed by the government. She said that
no, this place hasn't been destroyed.
No.
In the court.
I know. I'm talking about a place 10 years ago, but you're talking about a place that is now being on the way.
Sorry.
They're basically like saying they lost the court. They're on the verge. And I'm saying that what I'm trying to say now is like me and Saar we don't want to repeat the same pattern. We don't want to do like a gathering now or a meetup and talk about the same thing that failed, and talk about like what do we want to do and how did we fail. And this is not where we're going now, because we learned from the history and we realized something that didn't work. And what we want to do now basically is to make a meetup. It's not a gathering, it's just an evening event. And we want to make have you heard about the word aliyah? Aliyah means to raise something, to lift. So in Israel,
what language is this?
It's Hebrew. Basically, if you're a Jew and you're moving from Russia, from UK to Israel, you're making aliyah. You're raising your spirit, because your spirit comes back to the Holy Land. So we want to do the same thing, but to the region movement, the one that you're presenting as a gathering, the one that you are, one of the leaders, I guess, in your space. We want to bring this to Israel, and we want to actually we want to present it, and we say, hey guys, there is a region movement. There are people that are doing stuff. There's a concept, and there's people here who are striving for eco villages. They want to live together. They know technology. There is agrotech. There is food tech. There's all those stuff, but there is no region. There is nothing that like makes synergy. And because of all the challenges that we don't have land, it's it's impossible, it's expensive, there is no regulation, etc., etc. But our feeling is we want to meet those people. We want to know all those people that live in Israel that having the same thoughts. They like technology, they know blockchain, they want ecology, they do all of the stuff, and they're alone. They don't know anyone else except for another friend like me and Saar. So we want to invite them. That's our goal, and let's gather. Let's be here. Let's talk about it. And it's not an invitation to start a project. It's not like, okay, we're raising money. We want to buy land together. We want to live together. It's not about that. It's about we want to create a network. We want to create a tribe. We want to create a friendship, and then we can see what's our possibilities. How we can look in the container. And with our chess game, how can we form a way to do something, to live in a city, to live in a village, to hire something, to do something. This is this is the wish. That's our purpose. That's the goal of the meeting. How it is for you right up to now?
Oh, it sounds great.
Right. Good.
It's we need to connect.
Good.
This is, I don't know what exactly the full future should look like, but more connection here and now is definitely what's required.
Yes.
One of the key things.
Yes.
One of my favorite quotes is from Daniel Schmachtenberger. I don't know if you've come across him.
No.
He's a pretty famous thinker. But anyways, my favorite quote from him is, "The answer to all of the problems is all of the solutions." It seems obvious, you laugh, but everybody's trying to find the one solution. It's the government, it's the education system, it's the money, it's the economy. It's like, but no, the answer to all of the problems is all of the solutions. So is meeting, getting people to meet up the answer to all of the problems? No, but it's definitely a very important thing.
Right. Yeah, and you know, just to talk from the eye, and actually maybe Sarah will also add, I have a lot of passion to the technology, to the way that you bring the eco village movement, which is a little bit old now. It's getting old, and like the Gen and like Fitor and all those, like, I know, previous ones, how we're looking today, and we're sitting on their shoulders. We're looking further because we can sit on their shoulders and bring all the technology, blockchain, decentralization, all those things that help us to navigate money and governments, and to bring it into to village. That's what really passions me. And I'd say Saar maybe can also, will add from his side. So that's the key. That's the key of our meeting. And what we're right now, we're okay. Maybe Sarah, do you want to add something, or we'll move a little bit to the meetup, like what we're gonna do and what we need, Victor? Maybe what our request from Victor. So, or maybe we do something before that. So, you wanna?
I say keep going. Go with the flow.
Okay. So I'm gonna move now to the meetup, Victor. I would like to show you. I didn't write anything. I'm just gonna say it. I tell you the structure of what's gonna be the structure of the meetup, and then what we need from you now. So we want to do a few parts, chapters of the meetup. We want to start with the introduction that I'm gonna lead, which is a presentation that I made, which is gonna cover again, not very deep, all the Gen movement, the big eco villages that exist in Europe, and talk about a little bit about the Gen gathering, about the gathering of tribes, EDE, and to talk about Israel, just to taste all those stuff. So just to give a people introduction about the global eco village and the eco village concept, because many people don't even know that this exists. They have no idea. They don't live in Portugal. They don't know what it is. This is going to take, probably looking at an hour of a lecture that will be like an intro for people for a common ground. Then the second part going to be the major part, the most important part of the evening, and it's going to be Saar lecture, and he's going to talk about the regen movement, the regenerative movement, which is, what is it? Like, what is the whole story of the new movement? What are they doing? What are the cases, the eco villages that are embodying it? And just to really introduce it to the people, which probably going to take also an hour. And then we thought to do an open stage, when we let people to come on stage, whoever have any like, if he's an entrepreneur that does anything, he has a project, he has a huge idea, he has something to share, like a key thing, then we're gonna make an open stage for a few speakers that from the audience, to make it more like as a mutual space. And then to close it up, we thought to make a donation. There's a donation for a dear friend of us from the eco movement in Israel that has been burned in the Iran war. His all place get burned down, and he's a very good guy. He's from the community of the spiritual people, and he is really struggling to gain all the money to rebuild it. So we want to like give him a space and to make this place with an impact, not just to talk, but like give someone else help and to show that we have solidarity. This is going to be the grassroots for another meetups that are going to come later. We know that it's not like a one-time thing, but this is going to be a start for something else. That the next meeting going to be based on this, and we don't need to talk about intro. We can talk about other things that can form something. So this is a more intro first meeting, and I will just finish with what I wanted, and maybe Saar can take the speak and talk further. But we need more aid and help to create the second lecture. So how do we present the region movement? How do we talk about it? What are the resources we can rely on? Anything that you can help us to form a way to present it to people that have no knowledge, and yeah, just to wrap it in a way that we can present it. And Saar is going to do it, so I'm going to pass it to him now, and we would love any knowledge from you, any help, anything.
Yeah, and also I would like to see or to hear what you think about our like general approach as far as the framing of the subject. And so what Arik was saying is that we want to introduce the whole eco village movement, which has been around forever since like the 60s, you know. We want to talk about everything that's kind of, what is it? Like, what is an eco village? Talk about it a little bit, you know, like Arik said, uh, present Oroville, present Tamera, present all these places that have been around, but at the same time, they've in a way, the way we see it is they haven't really succeeded in their mission to change the world, right? They're just basically these bubbles, some of them more hippie, some of them less, but they're basically these bubbles where people live. And so now we want to say there's another new wave or a new movement approach that people are subscribing to, and what we see, what we identify. And I think for me, it came together a lot just having been there, you know, to Portugal and been to the gathering and learned about places like Liminal Village and been to TDF and met with Sam and, you know, talking to all these people and Villa Gaia and all these places. And so now we see that there's a what I want to call like community 2.0, you know, like it's like this kind of a different approach, and it's a different way which incorporates not just coming together to live a simple life and living on the land, but also bringing in these concepts like decentralization and network state and all these things that have to do with you know, game B and different ways of governance and tokenization. So I guess that's kind of like the first question perhaps is what do you think about how we're thinking about this as far as like first wave and second wave, and does it make sense to present it as like community 2.0?
I have something, just one thing to add is maybe we can refer to rebuild also, just as a case, as a use case for something that happened, is rebuild with as a TDF, if you also want to just raise it as a thing.
And I think you're on mute.
Yeah, I sent you guys, by the way, in 2016, I wrote an article about this. I called it Village 3.0,
Okay.
with Village 1.0 being the original villages, Village 2.0 being the intentional village movement, and then Village 3.0 being exactly what you described. So, yeah, I mean, I fully agree with all of your observations. I went through that same process like 9, 10 years ago. And I agree with you. So maybe let me talk a little bit about how I see the gathering, the big picture. I know it's not exactly the thing, and then work back from that to your particular case, if that's okay. It'll be a little bit part of my introduction as well that way. So I went on exactly the same journey or similar journey as you guys. Of course, no two men walk the same path. And that's why I didn't get more involved with Jen, because I felt they came out of it's very beautiful, it's wonderful. I'm happy for the people for who it works. But for me, I see this new path. Remote work, I think, fundamentally changes the reality, right? The Jen and that movement comes out of the 1960s. Tamera comes out of the peace movement of the 1960s. Findhorn is similar timeline, and so on. And there is a huge amount to be learned from them. But the times are different now. And I think what I am motivated, the village that I dream of is one which is an entrepreneurship, a startup hub, right? I love the work that I do. I love the fact that I'm having these conversations with you guys, right? We're international, and then maybe not tonight because it's late, but tomorrow morning I'm gonna get up early and dig out some weeds because I've been away for a month and the garden has become overgrown, right? That's for me balance, but it's not just digging the garden, right? This international building an international ecosystem, building businesses together is a key part for me. So what I have come to believe is that in building a village, it's everything, it's all of life, right? And a key part is livelihood. So connecting people, when I say livelihoods, it's because I don't like the word work. If you look at the etymology, the word work came into existence in our vocabulary with the Industrial Revolution, factories, and all of that. Before of that, you plowed the field, you milked the cow, whatever. There wasn't work, just like a bucket of crap, which wasn't your life, right? You were living your life, which included plowing the field and milking the cow or whatever, picking the dates, but it wasn't work. Uh, but we need livelihood. People need to make decent life. And even if you unplug out of the system, you still need a phone, you still need a thing, right? I mean, you want to function within the system. Healthcare, right? And you need to pay taxes. So, and then, a village exists within the world, right? You can't, now it's very, very clear. And actually, I think in Israel, you're more aware of this viscerally every day than a lot of others. You cannot separate yourself, right? The world is there and it's overhead, it's underneath, it will knock at your door. So it's not enough to just like, I'll buy a piece of land and fuck off, right? That's not an option. And it's not attractive to a lot of people, right? Again, if this is your thing, great, do it. But for me and for a lot of people, it's not exciting. So for the gathering, I really see, pulling in regeneration, but then there is, you start looking bigger and there is so many people working on systems change using a different vocabulary. For example, people reinventing the learning system. When I've been 10 years now, I'm taking a break from villages just because it's so hard to get money to fund it. But though it's starting to move slowly, it's just that I'm tired after 10 years of banging my head against the wall. But I spent a few years looking at learning, education system, right? Okay, because it's easy. You go, you move out to a village. What do you do with the kids? The kids still need to learn. You need to support their learning, right? And there's a huge ecosystem of people working on new learning models, self-directed learning, da, 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 da. To me, this is an integral part of regeneration, even though they use a completely different vocabulary. But we need them as part of the conversation, right? Goes without saying, we need the people working on farming as part of the conversation. You mentioned decentralization, right? So there's like so many of these pieces, right? I really like to think that certainly nobody has all of the answers, but it's really starting to feel that a lot of the answers are out there. We just need to activate them and put them together. So that's my dream for the gathering, to bring together all of these people working on different pieces who often don't talk to each other. In fact, a lot of the time don't talk to each other, and create an event which can be an agora, and the people working on these different pieces can come together. So that's the dream of the gathering. Now, in terms of event design, I hope I won't disappoint you two guys too much, but I am a crusader against lectures. You've really come to a very hard audience, guys, because what I tell everybody is lectures in person are stupid. Which means I won't stop you from it. You know, everybody does their own thing, but really think about it. I feel your passion and you want to introduce people and present them to it, right? But you've spent many years studying this. There's no way you can give a download a reasonable one, right? I'm a big fan of doing a inverted format. Can you record the lecture or a series of things that are sent it to people, and when people come in person, give them an opportunity to talk, to workshop? That aside, the most important, and it takes a while of event design, and I'm only starting to get better at this now, but actually when you're designing an event, you shouldn't be thinking about the event. You should be thinking about, what the hell do I want to happen after? What are these people going to do? So, for example, with the gathering, and again, you know, like, I'm not saying like, I got this, I know how to do it, right? I'm just saying this is what I'm striving to do myself, right? This is the path that I'm on, is with the gathering, the theme, what we're trying to go is connect for action, to create an experience where people have conversations, build relationships, and connect in such a way that action comes out of it afterwards. And I don't care what action, you know, I don't know, you write a book together. That's happened out of one of my events. You have a relationship, you start a business, you join a community, you like, but that something happens out of it, right? If there is no action afterwards, then it was kind of maybe entertainment or learning, you know, maybe later in life. So that's my goal with, or my dream for the gathering, also for Coherence, is to create environments which give people an experience which results in some groups of people. And again, I very much, and the gathering is that way, I really like creating spaces for emergence, for serendipity, right? A lot of traditional event designers don't like this, right? Because it's not designing an experience like this, right? I create a vessel, throw people into it, and it seems like kind of crazy and chaotic, and then amazing things emerge. There's a really beautiful book I read, Live Your Life as Art, about Burning Man and the psychomagical, because Burning Man actually comes out of an art movement. Many people don't know this. And it's exactly that. You create conditions which have enough chaos, you're at the edge of control. And if you look at physics and these other things, there's this idea of chaotic systems, the ones which are in between chaos and order. And that's where most creativity happens. So this is the events that I really love to design, is to create opportunity for people to connect and to things to emerge which you could never imagine. So for example, I can tell you, I did a event, and it's funny because I was just in Toronto, and this guy, and like some small meetup, 5, 6 people, I got invited, you know, change makers did the similar thing. And this guy was there, it's like, oh, you're Victor. You did that event on villages in Berlin. And I was like, yeah, I did do an event once in Berlin. I was there.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because that event, the way I did it is, there was a circle, was a big circle, like the biggest I've ever held, like 40 or 50 people in Germany, Berlin, you know, which are like they're lighter form of German, but they're still German. And I think I have to find but the question was like your name and why should we live in a village or something like this. And 50 people in a circle is fucking a lot. But also something that is also conscious for me, the events are already the start of the process. Learning how to function in a circle is part of the journey. So by putting people into a circle, some of whom are not familiar with that, we're already starting the journey, right? And 50 people in a circle was like, this is taking a lot of time. And halfway through, somebody was Germany, right? This is not efficient. And I was like, please just stay with the format, hold it. And by the time it got to me, I had like 5 minutes and 2 or 3 things to say. Everything that I would have wanted or imagined to say was already said. And to me, that's much more, I am okay, but I'm not a professional keynote speaker, da, da, da. And to me, it's also it demonstrates this spirit. I just feel it's so much more powerful if everything that I want to say comes out of other people's mouths. So I'm not saying change your thing, but these are some kinds of things to play about. I think having a circle at some point is important. Yeah, I mean, I can give you a whole bunch of resources that I have about regeneration. Of course, there's books, there's this, there's that. Arguably, you know, there's certain things in life which you will not fully understand if you just understand intellectually. Love. You can read as many books you like about love, but until you've fallen in with love with somebody, you will not get it. Spirit, God, you know, da da da. The intellectual understanding is not a full understanding, right? There is a certain, I believe that regeneration is one of those things. You know, it's falling in love with the earth. It's just like me looking at the tree that I planted 2 years ago, and it's like one of them is 4 meters long, is an outlier. You know, I can explain it to you, but I feel it. So there is that part to it. But yeah, I think the bottom line and the most important thing is, what do you want to happen afterwards? Walk back from that. And when you have clarity what you want to happen, then you can design an event to make that happen.
Yeah, I was trying to think as you're speaking, like, what is our goal? What is the thing that we want to happen afterwards? And I guess the answer I can come up with on the spot is like, okay, well, we want to build a network or a community. You know, we want to connect people together who are interested in the ideas and who want to do something about it or to, you know, connect with each other. So I guess to maybe push back a little bit on what you said, then if you want to create a group, then I think the first step of creating a group is to tell people this is what the group is for. You know, like you draw a line in the sand, you say, this is what we want to do, this is the concept, and kind of like what Arik was saying was to like, in Hebrew, we have a phrase called to straighten the line, which means like to bring everybody up to the same point of knowledge, I guess, or to the same, like bring up to speed. So in that sense, that's why we were thinking to present, right? To show, and so that we kind of have this, we're speaking the same language before we can go to the next step of doing something that a community would do.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And it's
I
a way
just
of
had,
filtering as well.
yeah. I just also had this vision of like, yeah, of course we don't do this, you know, also to create a network. It's not just to have a network, but it's for if you're actually asking what is the final point? Why would you even do something and stay, get up from the couch? Well, the answer is to live in a community, right? So we are starting to move the wheel, snowball, that we can finally like make this dream come true. And it's gonna be either buying land, or it's gonna be either getting to a place that is already existing, like a village that is already there. It's gonna be, if we don't have any other option, we're gonna live in a city together. But it's not to raise my kids in a separate solo manner like everyone else does in the city of Tel Aviv, or it's not about living alone and just like, yeah, feeding the system, but to create a system that is feeding itself. And there's people like creating a web together and making and doing a childcare together, and having evenings together, and eating together, and having Shabbat together, and celebrating birthdays and holidays, and yeah, create this thing as your first life.
Yeah,
So
so this is very different, right? So there is a clear inspiration of getting people to want to get inspired again to building a vision. Do you know this quote, by the way?
No, but I'm reading it. It's pretty good.
wow, that's pretty big. That's pretty good.
It's really, really beautiful and it's really profound. And this is, in a way, the heart of regenerative organizing. So it's not about bringing people to the same line of knowledge and understanding of the system and that you guys have. That's impossible because you spent a chunk of time on it and you've been to all of these places. What you want is to create, find people and give them the inspiration, and you want to create this shared, yeah, this shared yearning for this. And that doesn't come from the facts, that comes from what is the life that we dream of. And I think, I don't know, I mean, maybe I'm just memorable, or maybe that event actually was good. It'd be interesting to ask him. I can connect you with him, Uwe. Of 50 people saying what their dream life in a village would look like, that is bringing and creating a shared dream.
Yeah.
And that's what's important. It's not like the mechanics and the history of Findhorn and blah, 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 blah. Those are nice, interesting details. And people will learn when they're excited. Right. And what excited, what I heard the most, like I heard your passion and joy, this spending Shabbat together with people I care about.
Yeah.
Raising children together, but even just that simple image.
Dragon dreaming, right, Victor?
Yes, and there is a big problem with dragon dreaming.
Well, I mean, yes, I mean, hearing what you're saying now is basically doing the first, dragon dreaming has the dreaming, has the planning, has the execution, has the celebration. And actually I read the handbook. It's fascinating.
So
But
and the reason that I say it's kind of like pre-dragon dreaming, because my problem with dragon dreaming is it tries to integrate everybody. And usually in a group like this, I don't want to integrate everybody. If there is 50 people and a core of deeply motivated 5 emerges, that's success.
right.
If it's 10, it's like, wow, but it's not going to be 40. And it's okay. I mean, as long as those people didn't hate the time, they don't resent coming back. So it's kind of like pre-dreaming, finding the group that's aligned enough to go into a deeper dreaming.
Right. And from this then you go to dragon dreaming, basically, because you're already committed, you're already feeling it,
Yes.
you're already
Yes.
you
Yes.
you feel you can work together and execute. Right.
Yes, but still, you always in these kinds of processes, you need to accept that some people will fall out and it should be okay to drop out. You don't want to create a process where people are like, oh, I started, I don't really feel it, but you know.
Yeah.
I have to say that it's my feeling that there is already a lot of yearning, you know, there I feel like it beats very strong in the people in this area, in especially the people we're planning on sending the message to, right? There's so many people who are dreaming of raising their children together, having Shabbat together. Like the desire is
Yes,
there. It's already there.
yes. And oftentimes people don't talk about it. Do not underestimate the power of hearing your own dream from 5, 10, 20 other people's mouths in a circle. There is a certain magic where it goes from the profane into the sacred, and you feel a connection. That's how the circle gets created. You're like, wow, this person has my dream. That person said something, I never thought about that, but wow, I would love that.
Yeah, I can feel it. I definitely can relate what you're saying. Yeah, it's a lot of power.
Yeah, and Arik, you had this instinct because as part of the meetup, you said let's make the last part an open forum so that anybody can share anything about their dream or what they are working on or what they want to do.
Circle. Circle
Yes.
is sacred space.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Uh, well, it's I just want to acknowledge that it's a really amazing. Giving us a really good shaking and maybe steering the pot, but in a really good way. Just to like break some patterns and break some maybe some and the easy way to do is a lecture, and then you guys are listen and understand and what blah blah blah. Um, um,
Except you just made two big assumptions. One, that people will listen, and two, that people will understand.
right. Hopefully, yeah, exactly.
Some will
Um,
listen, some will understand, they'll get distracted. Eh,
you
Also,
know,
what I really believe that the process, the experience that we create should already reflect the reality that we dream of. Is the village that you dream of one where a guy stands at the top and lectures people for an hour? Or is it one where people sit in a circle and try and figure things out together?
yeah.
But I think there is room for both. You know, this world is not gonna evolve past the concept of having someone impart knowledge, or
No, no,
educate.
no. I look, don't get me wrong, I love talks. I spend
Yeah,
5 to 10 hours listening to talks on YouTube every week.
yeah,
But it's on
exactly.
YouTube, it's in my convenience. I'm driving, I'm sitting on the toilet, I'm cooking, I'm doing whatever. When I'm in person with humans, which is such a precious time, then I want to connect. So we have, of course, we need to share knowledge. I mean, it's super important, but we have so many different media to do this now, right? Maybe you should write a book, maybe you should record a video shorts, interviews, blogs, podcasts, right? Which gives us more ways. Lectures made huge sense before internet, right? Now, I'm not saying don't speak at all, but maybe 15, 20 minutes TED style is enough.
Hmm. Yeah,
I
and then
have.
leave the rest for connection. Because we were planning on having a lot of time,
Yeah.
like the second half for like people just networking, connecting, talking. But maybe we should do it more structured, like you said, like in a circle.
I
Circles,
just
do you guys know liberating structures?
maybe
No?
you should introduce us now.
Yeah, it's a set, a book of they have a website, different kinds of patterns for getting people to interact, to do workshops in an interactive way. Circle, of course, is a great one. But circle is, for me, what I believe is circle should be sacred space. So we do really deep relational work, right? If you want to like make plans or things like this, that's not circle. Trying to make plans or organize or whatever in circle is crap, and it's not a good format, and it does disservice to circle, I believe. So
so it's not serving logistics, but it serves spirit. It serves
connection,
like
connection, everybody being seen, everybody having the opportunity to be seen, and I think it should be kept special. It shouldn't be like, oh my God, we're sitting in circle again. Bloody hell.
I just want to raise a concern, if I can. If
It's your meeting, you can do whatever you like with it.
Yeah. Remind me something small that happened with Saar actually a year ago when I invited random people from Facebook. There is a 30,000 member group on Facebook. It's called Eco Villages in Hebrew. That's the name, Eco Village.
That's probably my friend Draw's group.
Yeah, 30K. It's big. It's quite.
He said large. It was. Yeah, I don't. He said it was something like that.
And I invited people to gather somewhere. I didn't hit a place, and I said, "Who wants to gather and talk about Eco Village, and then check if you wanna go to jam together." And what happened? I didn't even thought about it. It was a circle, and Saar was there. He can also, witness. He was a witness there. So we were just talking. Everyone was talking. It was a sharing. It was everyone's. It wasn't really a dream circle or anything, but it was a circle. And what I just want to say as a reflection from that, or as a feeling, was that there was a lot of confusion, and there was a lot of sort of. So one way was like, yes, we want it. Yes, there is a wish, but on the other hand, there was like so many people that was like unsure. They were like very hesitated. They were like, oh, fly to Sweden to learn about it, to go together to Europe to a gathering, and like, or people were like, just like being so in confidence, or like, but I'm a student, but I have flat in Tel Aviv, like, so you bring people that kind of can share their wish and like, okay, I have a dream. I'm so tired of my work. I'm so tired of the city. But then you can have this despair and this frustration, or this like, oh, it's not gonna work. I'm just, I'm just gonna keep dreaming. I'm just gonna be just talking and sharing it. But like, this feeling of like people just wanna like, they don't really want to act. They just, they want to talk. They want to share. They want to kind of say, oh yes, I want it. But they're not gonna. So you're talking about 5 people from 50. I mean, I hear it, but I feel like there's might be a possibility that it's gonna be like 30 hippies that are like, they're very cool people and very nice, but they're they have no money. They just dreaming, and they just want to talk.
I have to find ping me. We have a shared group or something. There is these guys. I think they're from the Nordics. I still haven't been to the Nordics, so Norway, Finland, Sweden kind of merges in my mind from one of those. It might be Norway, actually. And it's cool what they're doing. They invited people into a shared learning journey. It's not cheap. It's like 1,000 or 2,000 euros with a retreat at the end. And it goes through the shared learning process of what does it mean to live in a village. They bring in things. If you're interested, I'll find them. I think it's a smart approach to invite. If you want people to learn, a lecture won't do it. Invite them into a learning journey, make it paid, something that's reasonable enough that people feel it, but that will include the audience that you have. I mean, Israel is a Western country, so it should be at least, make it like a 6-month learning journey with some meetups in the thing, maybe a retreat at the end, 500 euros equivalent, 1,000 euros equivalent, whatever. That will eliminate the dysfunctional people. It makes a bit more work for you because you really have to promote it and it's a thing. But then you're getting paid for it, right? And that gives you motivation to really research it and do it well. I really liked that approach. I think it was really smart.
I think that's something good to be really like thinking pragmatically. Okay, what do you how do you actually execute? I do think it's actually has something to it. Yeah. Actually, maybe I can add that there is a place in Neot Smadar. I don't know if you heard about it, Victor. It's a well-known place in Israel in the very bottom, and they told me already they are an eco village. They're a kibbutz. They're shared economy. They have their own studies. They're interesting. Some people also label them as a cult because they're so strange and so shareable and everything. But they are hosting. They would love to host people that they want to start a community. They have a space, and they can also bring some seminars and teaching from their own learnings and how they succeeded, which is a successful project in Israel, which is not taken in granted. So they kind of want to incubate
yeah, I mean,
projects.
that would be the thing to do. Do like a weekend retreat first, or a week-long learning journey, or something like this, right?
Yeah, that sounds.
That's
But
that's that's more meaningful, framed as a thing. I don't think, first event, what you want to do is shake the room and get people onto the next step. I mean, always think of what is the next step with things like this.
interesting. Okay, that gives it a bit more sense now. Yeah, that gives. Yeah, you kind of invite people that tell them that there is something next to it or something up. Yeah, so it's not like a one separate thing, but there is a chain of something. Or I don't know if you can already say we're trying to form a community or an eco village seed, but
This, I think, is 6 steps too far.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you walk up to a woman in the bar and say, like, I would like our children's room to be painted pink, and this is the school. I mean, like,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, that sounds actually more like a mature and more like a no. You're definitely talking more serious than just a meetup. That's
yeah.
certainly more
I
serious.
think
Yeah.
a meetup and this paid learning journey idea is, I think, really good. I mean, they were in Norway and stuff, so I didn't join them.
It's called
I
Village
will
Portal.
I will search for them.
It's called Village Portal. I recognized it when you described it, and I asked my friend Roy, and he reminded me. It's called. I have a PDF that describes it, and I'm trying to see if they have a website. But basically, it's like this it's a 4-month cohort-based program where individuals, families, groups, and landowners explore village building and communal living. I'll see if I can find a website.
Yeah. Well, that's Well, I really have a lot of things now to think about. This is something really also I wanted to say something. Okay, how do I form it? So looking at the vision, Victor, like I think we had a discussion with Saar to invite people to do dragon dreaming. I'm just gonna share with you something that we thought about before, is to invite people to do dragon dreaming, and also to say that we wanna have like or we already wanna filter people that gonna come to the dragon dreaming by some factors, some of like that we wanna we're both interested in the Jewish spirituality, me and Saar, and we would love to have this as our like a pillar in a community that it's at least in our we both feeling like living in Israel has to do, at least if you decide to live in Israel, then I would love to live spirituality of Judaism, otherwise I would leave Israel. There's no it doesn't make sense to be in Israel now if you're not living the Jewish life, because it's just getting more impossible and more dangerous. That's just another topic now, but what I'm trying to say now is just like I'm just adding here that I would love to talk to people that want to talk about me, to talk community about with people that would share some common things, and that would be Jewish spirituality, that would be like technology, that would be ecology. But I don't want to talk to people that are not interested in Jewish spirituality. I don't want to talk to people that are not interested in technology, because I'm not gonna live disconnected from technology. I'm not gonna live disconnected from Judaism. So I kind of want to filter a little bit. You know what I'm saying? if you can get that point, that not, I don't want to invite everyone and start to navigate with everyone.
It's all about creating a good invitation, right? I mean, you just make it clear in the invitation. By the way, this since you frame it this way, I'm really curious. How do you see your relationship to the kibbutz movement? Because I mean, that was like eco villages with Jewish spirituality, you know, at least from the outside. I read a book about because I was really interested. I think in many ways it was one of the most successful intentional community movements of the 20th century. So I have an idea, but why do you not use that as a reference point?
Sal, you want to talk about it?
I'm smiling because it's something that I told Arik that this is a question that's going to come up. We should be ready for this question. You know, how come we're not talking about kibbutzim and all of the other types of communities? There's a very rich tradition of building communities in Israel, actually, in different ways. So, I mean, what's the question actually? Like specifically, like why do we not see them as an example?
Why do you not see them example, and how do you see your relationship to that?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I mean, well, first of all, I would say that like the majority of them, because what Arik was just saying was his emphasis on Judaism and spirituality, the kibbutz movement actually was very, very secular.
It was a communist movement. It was the most successful communist movement of the 20th century, in my opinion, because it was the only communist movement which didn't have people with guns around it forcing you to stay inside.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. I mean, and yeah, it was successful. I think it was like the right tool for the right job because the country was being formed and there was a really big need to create industries. And so like there was like a big goal to like raise the foundation of the country, and this is one of the ways where I guess it was achieved by like so one kibbutz focused on like raising dairy, and another one was doing fishing, and and some of them had other specializations, and um, and then it fell apart because the world changed around them. Like in the 80s, things capitalism came in strong to Israel, and there was a bunch of reforms, and just the whole society around them changed, and then people started to look around and say, well, I want a new car and I want a nice house, and I want to live, I want to go travel to Europe and live that kind of a lifestyle. So, but yeah, I guess now we're kind of coming back full circle in a way, because it's like people have been to this place of material abundance and wealth, and now they see that actually it's not that fulfilling, and there's something missing.
But you need.
And I mean, look, to be honest, in some ways I wish you had said that at the start, because if you have a formal grounding in a spiritual tradition, it makes everything much fucking easier. Because because it brings in the answer to so many questions. It gives you a clear, shared definition of what's right, what's wrong, what, like how do we practice together. You get just like thousands of years of tradition to stand on. And yeah, you can, cherry pick, and I'm like, I'm this kind of modern or like this, but it gives you a huge shared community of people, to draw on. So, and if that is your grounding, then that's where I would go. Forget the hippies. Go to the people that are in tech in the city that are struggling because it's expensive, that want to have kids and are like, fuck, can I afford to have kids in this city? Find some. Do you have some aligned rabbis?
I would just like I would just reply to this thing. It's a little bit, it's talking about Judaism. It's very, very fascinating. It's a whole world. Like, try to like to explain to you now how the Judaism works in Israel and how complex it is and how what
I
is,
mean, I have an idea. It's a massive spectrum. I mean, the part
yeah,
that I have been personally interested in is the more mystical Kabbalists because they're non-dual and they actually end up merging. I have this really cool guy on YouTube who's a Hasidic Kabbalist from Europe, but he does like deep conversations. And there's like a conversation which he's having with a Christian mystic, and they're like, "Oh shit, we believe all of this, the same stuff. How did this happen?"
cool.
So at that level, I understand, but I also know it's a whole massive spectrum
Yeah.
of everything from all varieties of all kinds of crazy to very ordinary people. You know, I mean, give any religion a few thousand years and it starts to bifurcate into many different things.
Yeah.
So, but clearly you have something that is your core and that's your part of this mosaic, which is the one that you are rooted in,
Yeah.
and you want to get people that are around and not too far, right?
Yeah.
So
But
that's
which
a really great starting point. That and
which
tech should be your starting point more than eco villages.
like which foundation are you saying that we should stand on? The foundation of Judaism or the foundation of like kibbutzim and the whole social
No,
movement of
the concrete. I don't want it to sound insulting, but flavor or the slice, right? You know, I mean, I presume you guys clearly by dress you're not those guys,
Yeah.
right? And then you're not completely lay because you're bringing this in. So, like when you say Jewish spirituality, what does that mean to you? And how big a circle will you draw around this, right?
Yeah.
And those are your people, and you have a shared spiritual basis, right? Like this is what we struggle with, and this is why the eco village building movement is not stronger because we're struggling to build our own shared spirituality in a way that we don't offend each other, don't end up as a cult, and it's like all of those problems you don't have because you believe to a particular religion, and this is what it is.
No, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm totally with you. Yes. You can also see that the government actually, it's always been more radical and more right, but it's actually it would be more helpful for you to be bringing a religious more kind of thing to the country. You will get help from all those kind of religious rather
Exactly.
than
There will
like
be lots of
hippies,
investors and all
the
of this,
hippies. Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
And I think if you do that and tech, you have really, really powerful legs. And then you have Israel is your third leg. I'm not running away from the country.
yeah,
You just need to develop, get the right communication around that story. And I am assuming, I don't want to go down that route, but I'm assuming that your flavor of Judaism is less militant and somewhat more open-hearted than some
yes,
other flavors. And there's a huge number of people who are like, I'm a Jew, I want to be, Jewish. My government is committing what I believe are atrocities, maybe even war crimes. Where can I belong?
yeah. It's raising. It just there is I don't even how to like really serve it, but there is like in Israel there is so much. You have such a big spectrum of Jewish people. Like we are both considered secular, and there are people who are traditional. There are people who are Orthodox. There are people who are national religious. There are people who are. So there's so many things. But what I see now is like me, Saar, and other friends of mine. They can be secular. They can be Jews with a kippah. They can be even this, but their heart is speaking the same language. You can see that it doesn't even matter what do you actually practice as much, but it really the question of like where is your heart and how do you want to relate and what is your basing and how um and this is I think leading to there and yeah, and not really trying to be leveling everyone, like, to create like everyone needs to look the same, everyone needs to be the same, like the same spectrum of Jew, but it's not leveling like your how hard you love God, but how much you're sharing the same ground of like heart and feelings, and this is hard because this goes against the mainstream. The mainstream is really division. There's a lot of division, people divisive, and people are really really afraid of the other. If he has this, they're afraid, but
It's
they're afraid to look in the heart. And
the fucking disease everywhere in the world. It's just expressed in that way in your country, but America is suffering through horrors of division as well. I was there for 3 weeks. It's people are suffering. Portugal for the first time has had a hard right nationalist party rise in a country that just got out of dictatorship in 74, and like real dictatorship, jails, people being disappeared at night like that, right? And so division is a disease of our times, right? And I think despite what the mainstream media and show, I think there is a big, if not majority, it's a massive minority of people who are like, I just want to live in love, in peace and in harmony.
yeah,
Yeah, so maybe this is the way to cut across these lines, because what Arik was saying is really true. Like the traditional lines here are very like, there is this group and that group and that group. And for us, like we want to go down the path of people who just want to, like you just said, live and love together and live a simple life, and to also, incorporate all of these new concepts that we're talking about in this conversation. So I guess the way to create a group that's made up of people from all of these different other groups is by presenting this vision, right? Like this vision of living an eco-village regenerative life. I mean, I feel like it kind of brings us back to the same point, because if we go out and we say, this is just for uh, traditional Jews who want to live in an eco-village, then that separates. And we don't care, just like Arik was saying, we don't care if you're traditional, Orthodox, or secular, as long as we have the same language that we speak. And I think it's just what we would have in common is like we have maybe a lighter, or like you were saying, a non-duality version of Judaism where it's like it's more encompassing, right? So like this is the
Non-duality actually goes against, for insofar as I understand, it goes against many of the non. It's like edge, right? That's why, for example, in Christianity, Gnostics, which were the big for the first 100 years after Christ's life, right? And the Gnostics said, right, look, it's a path. Christ showed the way. He got this far, doesn't mean you can't go further. They got killed off pretty quickly, you know. So, but I think it's very interesting. If this is your grounding, I think you have a really powerful thing, that, and then the tech, and then building something in Israel with a good communications campaign. I think you can get some very interesting support.
hmm, that's
yeah.
true.
I'm just feeling now a little messy about like how to. I mean, the concept is good. Like, I think we did get the point, but I'm now a bit messed about how we gonna like market, how we gonna like advertise it, market. I mean,
So I
which
really think that
gets a little bit
I
confusing.
really think that creating a learning, and I found the guy I can connect you with, guys, creating a learning developmental journey is the path, right? And then also for me, right? Okay, we're smart guys, fine, but we're not the smartest guys in the world. And I don't know, you guys are probably not the wisest things in Jewish spirituality either, right? There is people that have devoted their lifetimes to this. Our job is not to figure this stuff out. Our job is to energize and to bring together into the room people smarter and richer and more knowledgeable and with more access to land, bring them together into generative dialogue and move things forward. So don't feel that you have to figure everything out. Right? Your job is to create and energize the process and to get great people into the room. I was just having another chat with a friend, and she was like, "Oh my God, I have such imposter syndrome. I feel intimidated. Everybody in the room is smarter than me." And I'm like, "My God, how lucky!" Right? This is a sign of success. You're in a room, you're treated as an equal, you're facilitating the process, and you feel everybody's smarter than you. That's amazing. That's success.
Right. So learning, yeah, I just need to also sharpen with myself, like, what is this journey gonna be like, or what is this like, to really like study the path and what you were offering, like what is exactly, what are the steps, how do you start forming it and yeah, creating it.
And how does this journey not appear to be like a money grab, like I'm selling a course kind of a thing? Because that could be also
I
a
think I
perception.
would share it. I mean, this is a whole separate course call, and I want to start cooking dinner sometime. And again, I would do it more as like, yeah, I don't know, inviting people and again, present yourself. Look, generate the inspiration. We're really excited about this, right? We think that even though we might think that the government and many groups are doing things that we don't disagree, that shouldn't damn all of the Jewish faith, and we want to find a path where we can live in love, harmony as Jews. Who else would be excited exploring this together? Right? And if you're talking about faith, find some cool rabbis. There must be cool rabbis around the world who you can bring in. Start a podcast, bring them in for conversations. You don't need to figure out this stuff. You just need to figure out who to bring in to conversation that has these ideas. And our job as leaders is to really to get people excited, right? You have this village of a vision, like just focus on that fucking image, right? I want to sit in Shabbat with people that I love, that love the world, that are building a better future for all of humanity. As a Jew, who is in? That's all that's required.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well.
And I liked also the when you were talking before in the beginning, you said that a big part of what you like about your vision is including startups, incubation, like that. I feel like that could be also a part of the vision. And I actually wanted to ask you, have you heard of Amagi, the project in Kopangan? Because they're very much focusing on creating this like village that supports people's like creativity when it comes to creating like little startups inside the village or little
No,
businesses.
super cool. Send me the link. I'm
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
actually
send it to you.
I don't have somehow vision much to what's happening in Asia. I mean, I talk to a few people, but either nothing is happening or I'm not connected. Much more
Mm.
connected to the Americas and Europe, and now Africa is starting to pop up. But
Where are you living currently, or are you part of the community?
Portugal, and still not living in a village. I mean, we moved here 7 years ago, but real estate is so hard to move, and yeah,
You
funding
live
has
like
been a challenge.
where in Portugal?
An hour north of Lisbon. So 2 years ago, out of desperation, we got a farmhouse. So, we have some land to work on as
I
we're
see.
trying to now I'm taking a break. I'm waiting for somebody else to build a village.
Mm.
Maybe your
You
village, peace
you
breaks out
mean
in
you look
Israel, and if you accept going, maybe I can move to your village.
so you try
Fine.
did you try to
Going.
like be part of a seed or something, but then you realize like you're just gonna join on something.
We worked on a project. We didn't manage to get it funded, so now we're working to sell it, and I'm watching and seeing what will happen, and focusing now on coherence, on the gathering, on software. I really think AI is a really important wave, and it's really important that we train the AI to believe the things that we believe, because the other side, proverbially, is going to train them to believe all kinds of shitty stuff. So it's important, the whole tech thing. But it's a whole other long conversation. But yeah, I mean, the village developing the Judaism AI.
Yeah. Can I ask? Can I? Maybe I guess we're towards the end of this session. I thought about the gathering in Czech Republic as also an opportunity if we are making this any event before to go together to the Czech, to invite people to go. But like I've heard it's going to be different this year from Portugal last year. It's smaller and it's like
It's going to
small
be
camps.
smaller, and I think it's going to be more focused around tech and stuff. It's going to be just three camps: Planeteer, Coherence, and the Czech camp. So it's going to be heavier towards AI, Regen OS, building the technology for a regenerative society.
So not very focused community or build communities. It's more
Less,
about
yeah. It's only
like
going to
tech.
be 100. It's only going to be 100 people, and da da da.
Right. So more how do you like bring the technology and serve community or serve ecology?
Yeah, I
What
mean, yeah. So I mean, the community part is there, but less in terms of people building villages and stuff.
is it gonna be another big gathering again next year or something? Like are you planning on that?
2026 in Portugal, looks like US, Mexico. There's going to be one in Guatemala in December, but I'm not sure of what the flavor will be. And when will be the Israeli one?
Mm.
Yeah. Cool. That's cool. Cool.
There was a question.
You
When
can ask Sarah. Maybe Sarah knows.
he's asking us if we're gonna, raise the flag, as they say, like to
I mean,
pick
yeah,
up the
it's
ball. You know,
there's a
but
huge
we have to
burning
start with the
there's a
Exactly.
huge
There's a
burning
huge
burning
burning
community in
community.
Israel.
So the know-how is there.
It's huge. It's huge, but it's also very I'm not. There's a lot of things there. Yeah, it's a lot of hedonism. It's easy to gather people to be hedonistic and more challenging to gather people to yeah.
Yes, but my
It's
answer
the
to that is if and Midburn, the Israeli burn, is like it's big. It's like over
yeah
10,000 people or something.
used to be not anymore.
Well, I mean now it's different times. But if you can gather 10,000 people for hedonism, then you can gather 1,000 people for building a better future.
Yeah.
I agree.
And there's also what happens is there's a lot of people who go to Burning Man or whatever, and they're like, wow, I love this people coming together, that aspect, but this hedonism, I've grown out of it, right? I
Yeah,
mean, it's nice a few times, but eventually most of us get older and it's kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever. So there is a lot of people, and this is what I'm very interested, I think, is going to be very much the audience in the US, people who have graduated from Burning Man.
yeah.
All right, guys. I sent you
Yo,
the
thank you.
I sent you the links, Arik. I'm happy to have another follow-up call sometime. By the way, Fatem was recording this. What do you think about publishing this conversation?
That's
To what?
I don't have any objections. Where are you gonna put it on?
I mean, my usual thing is I put it onto YouTube and then publish it onto LinkedIn.
Wow, you think people are gonna watch YouTube our conversation?
Look, if 2 or 3 people watch it, it's already 2 or 3 people that weren't here that participate in this. I really love this conversation. I think we covered some very interesting and very rich topics.
Let's go for it.
So, yeah, cool.
Totally. Yeah, I'd
Okay.
love that.
All right. So I sent you the links. I sent you the links to Dror.
Okay.
Please do reach out to Dror. I can connect you on WhatsApp as well if you like. He's I think the instigator of the 30,000 person group. So he'll be a good person to talk to too.
Well, WhatsApp is great. It's better than Facebook if you can.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll check in with him and I'll connect with him.
Yeah.
Connect
Yeah,
you.
we will.
And let's be in touch. I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
ahead
we will.
here. You have my contact. Feel free to book another call if you want to continue talking.
Yes, yes.
Fine and
We
stuff.
will talk
And,
to Saar and we will start to reorganize, I think, stuff and see what's coming next. Yeah. Thank you. That was really helpful. Wow, that was really was a breaking ice breaks and really good. Really, thank you.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thanks for opening
I
our
love
mind.
the work that you're doing, and I hope I can continue supporting.
Thank you, Victor.
Thanks, Victor.
Thanks.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.